Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, all. I think you are with me. Today, I'm going to start the sixth session on performance evaluation and management. This is about the systematic process of performance evaluation and management. Now, we are in the sixth session. Performance evaluation methods. There are several performance evaluation methods we can use to evaluate our employees' performance. In here, we are basically attempt some basic performance evaluation method, 10 basic performance evaluation methods. After this session, I believe that you should have the basic idea about these 10 performance evaluation methods. The first method we are going to discuss about the graphic grading scale method, checklist method, multiple choice method, self-evaluation and discuss method, and the fourth method, essay approach, examination method, critical incidents, rank order method, alternative ranking method, and paired comparison method. These are the 10 methods we are going to discuss today. Actually, what is the performance evaluation method? What do you mean by the method? Methodology mean what techniques you are going to use to achieve some expected outcomes. In here, the performance evaluating performance, you are already aware about what is performance evaluation and management mean. Then we are going to, with that understanding, you are aware, we are going to collect some evidence about our actual performance of our employee. Actually, what is performance evaluation method mean? What techniques we are going to use to collect evidence about our employees' actual performance. The first technique or first method is the graphic grading scale. I think you are familiar with this type of questionnaires and some terms of the name of this method, rating and scales. We already discussed about the performance criteria and standards. Alternatively, we can call ratings for the performance standards. How did you rate your employees' performance? That means the performance standards. Criteria mean what factor you are going to consider when you are evaluating your employees' performance. With that understanding, what is criteria and standards, we are going to rate, mean considering some standards of performance. Graphic rating scale method, under this method, the evaluator, there are two parties, evaluator and evaluatee. Two terms I usually use. Evaluator mean who are going to do the evaluate, collect evidence. Evaluatee mean on whom the evaluator attempts to collect evidence. Forms, basically, if the evaluator use this method, we can appear that method through the performance evaluation form. Form is what where the collected evidence going to record it. Through that performance evaluation form, we can easily identify if the evaluator is used graphic rating scale method or not. The evaluator is supposed to do the performance evaluation form with the subjective evaluation criteria of employees' performance. That each and every performance evaluation criteria rated with the standards with the 5 or 3 rating scales. That's why we call graphic rating method, graphic rating scale method. These rating scales are most of the time there may be 5 from very poor to excellent, very poor, poor, average, good, and excellent. These are the rating scales. What we are supposed to do the evaluator is considering the performance evaluation criteria, then they should consider about the actual performance of the evaluatee. Then they should mark, put the mark on relevant scale. Sometimes that criteria may depend on the job and the requirement, organizational requirement. Some examples for the criteria is given here: initiative, job knowledge, and loyalty. A form for this method is usually provided for use by the evaluator. That form consists with the list of performance evaluation criteria with the standards. Then what we are expected from the evaluator should consider about the performance evaluation criteria and the evaluatee's performance on that criteria. They want evaluator should fill the performance evaluation form basically on the rating scales. When we move to the practical example on performance evaluation forms of this method, is here. I think you can see this performance evaluation form. There are some basic information. Evaluator should fill this performance evaluation form, basic information. Then we move to the performance standards section. There are several performance criteria. In this performance evaluation form, there is accuracy, job knowledge, initiative, cooperation, safety, economy, communication, commitment, speed, attendance, clearness. Likewise, there are 10 in here. According to this graphic rating scale performance evaluation form, there are 10 performance evaluation performance criteria. On the scales, there are 5 ratings, starting from outstanding performance, good, satisfactory, poor, and very poor. When we considering about the employee A, firstly consider the criteria of accuracy. If they are work accuracy is outstanding, we can put the right mark or cross mark on this column. When after considering that criteria, we can move to the next performance evaluation criteria, that is job knowledge. When we move to the second criteria, if their job knowledge is satisfactory or good level, we can put mark here, this column. Initiative is if the employee A is not going to initiate any new things, but when it is needed, they come forward to give some ideas. Therefore, we can put some marks here. Likewise, evaluator should, we expect from the evaluator is this role. When we move to the advantages and disadvantages of the graphic rating scale method, these are the basic advantages and disadvantages. The first thing is easier to understand and administer. It is very easy to understand because evaluators, role of evaluator is minimum level, is at minimum level. Therefore, when we are going to train evaluators in our next few steps, it is very easy to train evaluators because there are little things we have trained our evaluators. Evaluators need little training and understand the method. Is another advantage applicable to a large number of employees because this evaluation on there are little time consuming because evaluator role is limited here. By considering selected criteria with the practical evidence, they can put cross mark on the relevant column. Therefore, that is this method we can apply to the large number of employees. The next, we can move to the disadvantages. There are some disadvantages in here. Mostly emphasize on traits criteria only. When we considering about the performance evaluation criteria, we can develop. We already discussed with our previous session. We can develop traits criteria on traits, behaviors, or results. Sometimes it may be subjective criteria as the, or sometimes as the objective criteria. Most of the time, this evaluation form is highly based on the traits criteria. What qualities possessed by the employee is highly emphasized on this type of performance evaluation forms. That is main disadvantage. The rating is generally subjective. If we ask from the evaluator why you put this employee A is have with the outstanding accuracy of job performance, they cannot justify statistically, they cannot prove why they give the outstanding performance rate, as well as we cannot validate that evaluation with the second evaluation. Therefore, these ratings are generally subjective because we cannot quantifiable that evaluation. It has more subscription ability to evaluate errors, basically the central tendency. There are 5 options. When we considering about the evaluator's perspective, there are 5 options. In here, some technical terms, it is central tendency. Central tendency. I think you already have some idea about the central tendency. That is what evaluator is tend to not going to do the higher rate or lower rate. In our example, there are 5 rating scales. When we ask about the accuracy of the employee, our evaluator answer is average, not the outstanding or good, not the poor or very poor. That is very easy because all the performance criteria at the end of the evaluation, evaluator tend to give the evaluation on the moderate level. At the end of the evaluation, we ask, what about their performance? Is moderate level? Is at moderate level? At the end of the performance evaluation, there are many purposes. We want to use this information to take very important decision in our other HR functions like promotion and merit-based pay, likewise. But if the evaluator is based with the central tendency error, cannot take any significant decision based on the evaluation, because all the evaluation results are central. It means all the employees' performance are at the moderate level, not the good level or poor level. We cannot determine their actual performance levels. That is main disadvantage of the graphic rating scale method. Up to this point, we discussed what is graphic rating scale method, what it was apply in with the practical graphic rating scale performance evaluation form, then the advantages and disadvantages of the graphic rating scale method. The second method is the checklist method. Checklist is also we can appear from the evaluation form, performance evaluation form, which consists of the list of statements representing the characteristics and the performance of the employee. Basically, that statements with regard the performance, it means traits, behaviors, and results of the employees. Is required to choose the statements applicable to the employee. That is the evaluator role. What they expect from the evaluator. Evaluator want to choose the most suitable or applicable statements with regard the employee. Usually the immediate superior, maybe the evaluator, but there is no any weight system appeared from the performance evaluation form. But when we evaluate or quantifiable, there is a weight system to different statements. What is weight system? When we move to the checklist method, there are several statements. With our previous example, there are 10 performance evaluation criteria. There is no any weighted system. These all criteria are equally considered when evaluator is doing their job. But when we considering about the machine operator of production department, accuracy is more important than the initiative. But in here, the previous method, gravitating scale method, there is no any difference between the accuracy or initiative at the end results, because accuracy and initiative are equally considered in this performance evaluation form. But in the second method, checklist method, we have separate document on the weighted to different statements on the checklist assigned by the manager. Basically, that document is developed by the manager who is responsible to do the performance evaluation. Most of the time that may developed by the HR department. This is the sample performance evaluation form that use the checklist method. In here, the same basic information should be filled. There are several statements or characteristics of performance of the employee, works overtime when asked. When we are going to evaluate the employee A from the production department, there is a statement. Immediate superior is the evaluator. When, according to this form, we ask from the superior about the employee A. Employee A works overtime when you require or when you ask. If yes, you can, the evaluator can mark from the, put the tick mark in the yes column, Y column. The second section, employee keeps workstation or desk well organized. With that awareness, immediate superior can put tick mark on yes column or not. Based on this checklist, basically the behaviors and results, they are aware of qualities as well. Then what we expect from the evaluator is check and put the mark on the relevant column. Then the second thing is the weighted system. When we considering about this performance evaluation form, there are two columns, yes column and no column. These all 5 statements are positive statements. If the employee, when we considering about the sample employee who is from the production, so employee, if we put the yes mark for all these 5 statements, it equal to number 1. If we put the third statement is no with this employee, we can put the cross mark here. Now what the secondary role of the HR department, there is a secondary work that is weighted system, but this part is not appear in the performance evaluation form with the when evaluator is filled, but there is a weighted system. Weight. When we considering about the first statement, that is important production employee. This is about production employee. Therefore, this statement is about important about 30% out of 100. Likewise, we can put the weighted system. Each 5 statements, if we assume there are only 5 statements in our performance evaluation form, we can put several weights on our performance evaluation form. The third is important, is 15%. Then the 10%. The next is 25%. Likewise, we can put the weight on each statement. Finally, this all weight should be equal. The total value of the weight should be equal to the 100%. Then, if you put these all are yes mark positive statements. If we put if the evaluator is put on yes column, it is equal to 1. If under any statement evaluator is put the cross mark on no column, it is equal to the 0. Then we can calculate the weighted score, quantify. This is equal to 1. 1 into 30% is 0.3. This is also on the one column. It means yes column. 1 into 20% is 0.2. This is under the no column, mean 0 marks. It equal to the 0. 0 into 15%, it is 0. This is also under the one column. Yes column is positive performance. 1 into 10% is 0.1. Then we can calculate the total weighted score from the checklist. Likewise, this is the way of evaluating when we are using the weighted checklist method to evaluate our employees' performance. I think you can get some idea about how does it the checklist method. There are some technical barriers. If we are in an actual classroom, we can use the practical example and the group work to learn about the checklist method. But we are in a video classroom, therefore that ability is limited. Please listen carefully, then you can get some idea about the checklist method. These are some advantages of checklist method. This method can be used for a large number of employees, because what we expect from the evaluator is only fill the checklist. That is very little thing that may take some little time to complete checklist. Easy to administrator and economics, because the evaluator's role become more simple. It is little requirement to train evaluators. The third one, it does not give much trouble to the evaluator, because evaluator role is very simple, easy to understand. Need limited training to the evaluators as a weighted system is the main advantages of the checklist method. because when we compare with our previous method, in that method we consider when you are considering about the weighted system, that was main advantages of the checklist method. These are the disadvantages. It may use more trades. These are the disadvantages of checklist method. I think you can appear. It may use more traits and behaviors irrespective of results. Most of the checklist questions, performance evaluation questions based on the traits and behaviors, but with our previous session knowledge, we should develop traits, our criteria, not only the traits and behaviors. The results are the very important component. Therefore, that may become as the disadvantages of this method. There are many misinterpretation checklist statements may be by the evaluator, because there are some questions or some simple statements that may not totally cover the what we want to evaluate on our employees' performance. Sometimes we want to assist the employee come to the work on time, but with our statement in our performance evaluation form, it asks employee come to the work. That is misinterpretation by the evaluator. The answer is what not we expect from the evaluator. The evaluator may reason the method as he or doesn't not the weighted given to the different statements. But in here there are weighted system that is not open to the evaluator. That may be the disadvantages. When we evaluate engaging the evaluation, they think all the statements are equally important to the performance of the employee, but at the final results, weighted systems are working here, therefore differently affected to the final results, final performance of the employee that was not aware with the evaluator. Statements are general and do not cover all the standards or all the criteria of performance. Therefore, sometimes they are actually in our performance evaluation form under the checklist method, there is only two options, yes or no. But sometimes their performance may be vary from excellent to poor or excellent to very poor. If the performance is excellent, is also equal to the yes. or sometime their performance criteria is very poor, that is equal to the no column. That is another limitation of this checklist method. The third method we are going to discuss about the multiple choice method. Up to this point, we already discussed two performance evaluation methods: graphic rating scale method and the checklist method, with the advantages and disadvantages of the performance evaluation. Multiple choice method, from the terms also, there are multiple options to choice to the evaluator. This method is somewhat similar to the checklist method, but under the checklist there are two options: yes or no. Sometime, most of the time, put the right mark or cross mark. If yes, you can put the right mark. If no, you can put the cross mark. But multiple choice, in here there are multiple options evaluator can choice. The method has 4 or 5 statements under each performance evaluation criteria. That depend on the criteria. Sometimes the attendance may not need to include 5 or more than 5 statements. Sometimes it may cover with the one single statement. It is depending on the performance evaluation criteria, nature of the criteria. Procedure is like same as the checklist method. What we expect from the procedure is the guideline to do the performance evaluation to the evaluator. It is same as the checklist method, because the only difference between the checklist method and multiple choice method, under the checklist method there are two options, sometimes yes or not. In here procedure, there are 5 or 3, there are multiple options actually. And evaluate schemes can also be introduced according to the relative significance of each statement. For example, this is the performance evaluation form, use the multiple choice method. Attendance, job knowledge, initiative, cooperation. Likewise, there are several performance evaluation criteria. Sometimes under the job knowledge, there are 5 or several performance evaluation statements we can develop. Under the initiative, it's also same: cooperation, communication. We can develop 5 or less than 5 statements on each criteria. If outstanding for attendance, good attendance or satisfactory attendance, poor attendance, and very poor attendance. Likewise, we can the evaluator have multiple options they can select. When this is another the difference, we can develop the performance marking scheme. If the attendance, there are 5 options. As example, when we considering about the attendance criteria, there are 5 options in here. Perfect attendance, it means 100% attendance. We can allocate marks 10 for that. When we considering about the performance standards, not more than 1 day no pay leave during the period of evaluation. Most of the time, 1 year time duration, there is no any no pay leaves that may become under the perfect attendance. But if there is a 1 day no pay leave during the year, there may be who become under the second level. Third level, not more than 2 days or no 2 days no pay leave during the period of evaluation 1 year, who become under the third level. Fourth level, not more than 3 days. Likewise, we can develop the standards and we can allocate marks for the different standards. That is the way we can develop the multiple choice method performance evaluation forms and procedures. I think you got some idea about the multiple choice method. Now we move to the advantages and disadvantages of the multiple choice method. Advantages: easy to understand and administer. It is same as the graphic rating scale method. Evaluator needs to little training and understanding about the method, because we expect some simple things, little thing from the evaluator applicable to the large number of employees, because it is less time consuming. Mostly emphasize on the trade criteria are the general or common disadvantage of this method. The rating is generally subjective. If in our example we develop the 5 options choice to the under the attendance, that rating is objective because quantifiable and verifiable. Likewise, but some criteria is generally subjective, that cannot quantify and verify by others. It has more susceptibility to evaluate errors, especially central tendency. The evaluator is trained to do the evaluation on the moderate level. The fourth performance evaluation method is self-evaluation and discussion method. Up to this point, we discussed 3 performance evaluation methods: graphic rating scales and checklist method, and finally multiple choice method. That those methods we can identify through the performance evaluation form we use in the evaluation. But self-evaluation and discussion methods, we can use any form out we discussed earlier, or sometime maybe mix combination of these types of questions. Likewise, any forms we can use in this method. There is no main difference on the performance evaluation forms what we use. Evaluation forms are provided to the each employee. It means in here self-evaluation, the terms itself also implied that, meaning the main component of this method is who are the evaluator is evaluating themselves. That is why we call self-evaluation. Evaluation forms are provided to each employee or subordinate, and they are asked to evaluate regarding their performance by themselves. The employee themselves fill their performance evaluation form. But at the end of the self-evaluation, there are second part of this method, self-evaluation and discussion method. Afterwards, the employee with the form completed by himself or herself made it to the superior, who will discuss the performance rating. With the completed performance evaluation form, the second part of the performance evaluation is meet their immediate superior and discuss regarding the performance rating. Then make necessary changes or review part is also can easily apply in here. If there is necessary changes, where we can take actions, because superior and the employee are aware about the employee's performance rating. There are some advantages and disadvantages of this method as well. The first thing is more accurate evaluation. More accurate because who is well known about the performance, that is performer themselves doing their performance evaluation. Therefore, evaluation, that evidence is provided by the owner of the evidence. Therefore, that this method is lead to more accurate evaluation. As the second advantage is more the final evaluation may be more open-minded. Open-minded means the evaluation is done with the wide variety of information, with all the related information. Sometimes when we compare with the previous methods, all the times evaluator is different, but from the performer. But in here, evaluator is the performer. They already know all the things about the performance. Therefore, the performance evaluation is 100% open-minded, because evaluator is with the perfect information, all the information regarding the employee performance, their performance. But there are some disadvantages of this method. There are second part as well, self-evaluation and discussion method. Self-evaluation is good, but at the discussion part there are some barriers in here. This method is not applicable when there is an unpleasant relationship between superior and subordinate. That discussion part may not be success if there is an unpleasant relationship between the superior and subordinate. The second disadvantage, superior does not do it genuinely when the superior does not maintain proper recording of the performance of subordinates. And the discussion part, in the evaluation part, employee is well known about their performance, but at the discussion part, to share that information with the superior. One of the main responsibility of the superior is maintaining proper recording about the performance of the subordinate. But if there is no discipline, such discipline with the superior, who is not going to do the genuinely discussion with the employee. The third one is superior. The same with the superior does not do it genuinely when this subordinates have superiority complex. Superiority complex means, I think you have some idea about the superiority complex. This is an attitude with the subordinate. Superior is actually the superior doesn't know about anything, but or some specific field, but that part is superior is act as they know all the things. They are aware about all the things that particular area, but the reality is different. What who is act, but with the act of the superior, subordinates build their attitude about the superior. Their superior is well known about that particular area, but the reality is superior is don't know about that particular area. Therefore, the superior is not allowed to be seen their reality to the subordinate. That is superiority complex. When there is such situation, superior does not do the discussion genuinely, because superior try to secure that attitude with the subordinate. The fourth last disadvantage of the self-evaluation and discussion method, some superior may not consent to discuss with the subordinate. Without any specific reason, most of the superior do not like to discuss with the subordinate. They are maintaining their status levels. Therefore, the superior not going to do discussion with the subordinate. If the superior have such attitude, this method may not applicable. The fifth method is essay approach. I think with the term you have some idea. In this method, actually this is the perfect subjective evaluation. Is led to subjective evaluation. This method requires the evaluator to write an essay about what the respect of the subordinator's performance, without any quantifiable or any given format. Sometime evaluator, what we expect from the evaluator is write an essay on the subordinator's performance. Sometime, most of the time, that essay may include strengths and weaknesses, traits, behaviors, and results of the employees. We expect from that essay, sometime without any guideline or criteria or structure. Evaluator should write an essay, but that may differ from one evaluator to another evaluator. Therefore, if the performance appraisal system, we expect from the performance appraisal system to compare our employees. We want to take some information on same criteria regarding our several employees. Therefore, sometimes we can provide, or HR department or the system developer can provide suggesting criteria or key performance area to be covered in the essay. In the essay, when we use the essay appraisal method or essay method to evaluate our employees' performance, there are some advantages as well as the disadvantages. This method is very simple and easy to use because without any specific training on the evaluation, what we expect, the only thing is write an essay. No need to special training or any other program to write an essay. Therefore, that is the first advantage of the essay appraisal method. The second one, evaluation is not limited to the given form. When we compared with all our previous methods, especially the first three performance evaluation methods, that evaluation is limited to the given form or format. But in here, there is no any given format. Openly, evaluator can write an essay. That is another advantage. But there are many disadvantages of this method. The first one is difficult to compare. If we expect to compare our employees' performance, we should compare the several essays. But as the end results, after the comparing essays, we cannot take any decision because that essay is very difficult to compare. That sometime may not appear the real information about the performance. Evaluation tend to be more subjective. Actually, this is more subjective method, not without any objective criteria or standards. What we expect from the evaluator is only thing to write an essay. We cannot quantifiable or verifiable by using the paragraph or essay. Additionally, some form of PE methods has to be used. If we want to use the quantifiable or verifiable appraisal, this cannot use only this method. Actually, the practice is also there. Many of the performance evaluation forms, there are some part allocated to write about the employee performance summary. That is something like essay, but they allocate some little part with the previous 2 or 3 performance evaluation method. Another disadvantage is all the evaluators have not the equal skills of in writing. These essays are depending not only on the performance of the employee, is highly depending on the ability or skills of the writer, it means evaluator. If employee is well performer or performing well their job, but the evaluator is not good skill to write an essay, that evaluation may not success. The sixth method is examination. You are very familiar with the examination. This is also we can apply as the performance evaluation method. I'm not going to discuss the steps of conducting examination. I think you are aware with the term. This is also we can generally use the performance evaluation as the performance evaluation method. The main advantages is we can apply this examination method to the large organization. If we have the large number of employees, we can apply examination method by giving question paper on the particular period or job related areas, then assessing the answers received from the performer, we can examine the relevant knowledge, skills or intelligence of the employee. That is we call examination method. In here, examination is the performance evaluation method. In the same field, HRM, sometimes examination may become a selection method, employee selection method. When you are staffing your employees, or then you are going to select right employee to your organization, you can conduct examination there. That was a selection examination. In here, examination, the purpose is different. What is the purpose of conducting examination? In here, to examine the knowledge, skills or relevant intelligence of employee as a part of performance. The basic assumption of this when we conducting examination to as the performance evaluation method, their intelligence, their skills and their knowledge is directly affected to the performance. If some employee, if any employee have high level of intelligence, they may perform with the high performance. If any employee have high skills on what we examine in the examination, the basic assumption of here, if he or she have skills, that particular skills that may perform or he may perform our job well. Knowledge is also same. This method can apply the example. We can apply this method to evaluate our highly knowledge-based jobs like accountant. We can conduct examination to evaluate the accounting knowledge of the employee. If any employee have better understanding or knowledge about the accounting field, he can perform well in the accounting job. That is basic assumption why we conduct examination, that is based on this assignment. assumption. Another example, sometimes there may be a company lawyer, but during the performance period, there is no any incidents. How we can examine or evaluate their suitability to perform or continue their job? We can conduct sometime examination by asking some relevant questions on the legal background. Examination method also have some advantages and disadvantages. It is very easy to use. A large number of employees can evaluate it at one time because it takes only 3 or sometimes 1 hour paper, limited time period. We can organize the examination. You can see that any number of employees. Another advantage is if any jobs is based on the theoretical knowledge and intelligence can be evaluated well. Probability of occurring evaluators biasness is very low. If we conduct evaluation fairly, evaluator biasness is at very low level. Appropriate for evaluating jobs which are more academic, because the academic, the performance of the jobs of academic field is highly based on the knowledge and intelligence. Therefore, on that field, we can conduct examination. Some disadvantages also there. Does not encourage the employee's commitment to the job practically, because what we are evaluating is what they know, not the what they do. Therefore, employees are encouraging to gather knowledge, not to do the job practically. That is main disadvantage. May not be appropriate for evaluating jobs which are more professional jobs. More professional jobs, sometimes the lawyer, on the situational factors, it is professional jobs. We cannot conduct examinations. Basically, we cannot conduct any examination to the specialized doctor in hospital. We cannot examination. There are types of examinations, some practical examination also there, but if we use that type of examination, we can remove most of the disadvantages from this list. The seventh method is critical incident method. Critical incident method means it is like a diary, maintaining diary or logbook. Logbook is what the book is maintained to write each and every important incident. In here, critical incidents. That incident is very important to the performance. What we expect from the evaluator is prepare and maintain the logbook for the employees who's directly reporting to that evaluator. It means those employees who are under the span of control of evaluator. As example, there are 10 supervisors, production supervisors under those production supervisors are directly reported to the production manager. What we expect from the production manager as the evaluator, he should prepare and maintain the logbook. That logbook, there are two sides, positive side and negative side. Recording important incidents of the employees on positive side as well as the negative side of each employees as they occur over the period of time. They should continuously maintain this proper record. Actually, it is the performance evaluation is highly based on the logbook one record maintained by the superior or evaluator. Positive incidents are right in the one side and negative incidents we can arrange in another side of the logbook. At the end of the performance evaluation period, what we expect from the evaluator, by considering all the critical incidents, they should give the final evaluation to the HR department. That is critical incidents method, like a logbook, like your diary. At the end of the year, by go through your annual diary, you can understand how this year affect to your life. At the end of the performance evaluation period, the evaluator is also do the same thing, go through the logbook. They collect some evidence about the employee's performance. But there are some advantages as well as disadvantages. Firstly, advantages, we becomes more practical because these all critical incidents are the real incidents recorded by the evaluator. Therefore, if the evaluator is judged this employee is good to promote, if we ask from the evaluator, they have evidence with the logbook. The second advantage helps the evaluator to refresh his or her memory or the evaluation period. He does not evaluation on some selected incidents. He can consider all the incidents because all the critical incidents are recorded in his logbook. Helps to fair assessment because they allocate space for each and every employee in our logbook. Therefore, fairly we can consider about the employee's performance. Avoiding recency effect. Recency effect is another error of evaluator. Recency, by the term you can get some idea. At the performance evaluation, that was perfect more recent activities than the previous activities. When we considering about as example, there are 10 production supervisors under the production manager. If the production manager may not maintain properly his logbook, at the evaluation, supervisor A is performing well more recently to the evaluation. With that, the reasons behavior the evaluation of performance of the employee A, supervisor A, may get the higher rate. Why? Their recency behavior that was affected to the evaluation, but the overall performance over the period of the year is higher than the employee A. Employee B performance is higher than the employee A, but at the evaluation, employee B is recorded as the lower performer. Is recency effect. More useful in identifying the training and development aspects, because we allocate separate space for each and every employees. If we allocate separate space for the separate specific employees, we can go through that the selected part. By reading that critical incidents, we can identify their training needs. Most of the time they are doing wrong thing because of their job lack of knowledge. Then we can decide to arrange some training program to give that knowledge. Counseling and other types of feedback system can be applied effectively because they have proper record. By using that record, we can analyze the feedback requirement. By analyzing the overall feedback, overall performance of the employee, we can give the perfect feedback to correct our employees. Therefore, the feedback system may become more effective when we use the logbook or critical incident method. There are disadvantages as well. Extra work is required. Production manager. There are allocated work to perform as the production manager. In addition to that work, production manager is need to maintain proper logbook on the production supervisor. That is additional or extra work, more time consuming. If we are maintaining proper logbook for each and every employee, if our span of control is high, it is more time consuming. Evaluator may not have well discipline to maintain such record. It is practical with you. Now you are in 10th of July. You started to write your diary 1st of January, but review what has happened. Today, you have no such discipline to maintain that diary. Production manager or any other evaluator is also someday you may become an evaluator. At that day, you may not have such discipline to maintain the logbook. At that time, the critical incident method may not be applicable. Success of evaluation is highly depending on the one record or accuracy of that record. That is risky. If logbook is missing, our performance evaluation cannot proceed further. Likewise, there are some disadvantages as well. The eighth method of the performance evaluation is rank code method. In rank code method, the evaluator is required to rate employees from the best to worst on some given criteria for some time on the overall performance. With the example, you can easily understand what is rank code method. In my example, there are 5 employees, namely A, B, C, and D. A, B, C, D, and E. Evaluation is going on for basic criteria, that is attendance, commitment, quantity of work, and the quality of work. According to the criteria, 5 employees were evaluated by rank order. This format we can apply when we are using rank order method. There are 4 performance criteria: attendance, commitment, quality of work, and quantity of work. There are 5 employees, A, B, C, D, and E. Firstly, based on the attendance, we can give the rank. When we considering about the attendance, the perfect attendance is with the employee A. When we compare with other employees, the next best person is the employee B. Third rank goes to the employee C, then employee D, and employee E. The value of rank, if the value of rank is less, it is the best person. I think you have experience with your rank on this A-level examination. If you got the lowest rank, you are the best student. On the second criteria of commitment, we can rank. On the commitment, also the best person is employee A. The next best person is employee C. The next best person is employee B, and then E and D. When we move to the quality of work, we can rank the employee B is the best person, quality, on the quality of work. The second best person is employee A, and employee C, E, and D, we can rank on quality of work. The next criteria is quantity of work. The best person is employee A. The next is B, D, C, and E. Now we evaluate. We have 4 ranks on each employee on the 4 different criteria, based on the 4 different criteria. Then we can calculate the total value of rank. The first employee A, the cumulative value of the rank is 4. When we considering about the employee B, 2 plus 3 plus 1 plus 2 equal to 8. C, 3 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, the value is 12. The employee D, the cumulative value of the rank, 4 plus 5 plus 5 plus 3, 17. When we considering about the employee E, is 5 plus 4 plus 4 plus 5, 18. When we considering about the total value of rank, the lowest value of the rank is with the employee A. Now we can give the overall rank number 1 to the employee A, and the next person is B, C, D, and E. Then we can give the rank order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the A, B, C, D, and E employees. This is the rank order method. With this information, if I ask who is the employee out of these 5 employees, your answer should be employee A, on 4 performance evaluation criteria. I think with that example, you got some idea about the employee performance evaluation on rank order method. These are some advantages and disadvantages of the rank order method. This method is more suitable when it becomes necessary to compare employees, because at the evaluation time, we compare a group of employees with the second advantage, this method is more suitable when organization is practicing merit-based pay and merit-based promotion. Especially to the merit-based promotion, this method, the results of performance evaluation results are more applicable, because if we want to give promotion to the merit-based, it means the best performer. Now we have information about the best performer, who is the employee A, on the attendance, commitment, quality of work, and quantity of work. Therefore, the merit-based pay and merit-based promotion is practicing, this method is more applicable. The disadvantages of rank order method is when the group of employees being larger in number. If in our example there are only 5 employees, but if the group number of employees in a group is large, this is not practical without quantified information. Evaluation may become more subjective. In here, we give some rank on the attendance. Why you give the best attendance person is employee A? You can sometime quantifiable, but why you give the first rank on commitment to the employee A? The reasons sometimes you cannot justify, or that decision, that judgment is not verifiable. Therefore, this evaluation is become more subjective. It is another disadvantage. Subjective evaluation is not the disadvantage, but I think you remember, I think we discussed, if you use the subjective criteria, it is better to use more objective indicators to evaluate subjective criteria. In here, we cannot apply more indicators, because based on the indicators ranking may become more complex and time consuming. The next method is also relating to the ranking method. Evaluation is based on the ranking. Alternative ranking method. Evaluator is required to select the best employee and the worst employee from the group of employees who is performance is being rated. What we expect from the evaluator, if there is a 10 employees, group of employees, what we expect from the evaluator, firstly, he should identify who is the best employee out of 10, and then he should select who is the worst employee out of these 9 employee, because one employee is already selected as the best employee. Then they can give rank 1 for the best employee, and rank number 10 can be allocated to the worst employee. There are 8 employees are remaining. After the first step, what we expect from the evaluator, secondary level, he should select the best employee and the worst employee out of remaining 8 employees. Out of 8 employees, the best employee is recorded under the second rank, and the worst employee out of 8 employees, we can record it as the under the rank number 9. Likewise, continuously we can run these steps for all employees. That is alternative ranking method. Ranking is started from the 1 and then the last rank. The second step is rank number 2 and the next to the worst employee. Likewise, we can evaluate continuously to select best and worst employee until all the employees are ranked. The middle position of the on the list is last to fill by the evaluator. In here, the difference between rank order method and the alternative ranking method. In the rank order method, we starting from the rank number 1 and we end with the last rank. But in here, we starting from the rank number 1 and 10. We end with the middle rank. These are the advantages and disadvantages of the alternative ranking method. This method is more suitable when it becomes necessary to compare employees, because we always compare employees in ranking methods. Alternative ranking methods is also same. This method is more suitable when organization is practicing merit-based pay and merit-based promotion equal to the rank order method. Disadvantages are difficult to use when the group of employees be large number of large in terms of the number of employees. It is also same as the rank order method. Difference between first person and the second person may be greater. This is the unique disadvantage of the alternative ranking method. When you starting your evaluation, you should compare the best, you should select the best employee and the worst employee. When you are selecting first best employee and the first worst employee, you are seriously involving to the evaluation process. But at the middle steps, you are moderately involving to do the evaluation. At the end of the evaluation, you may not seriously involve or actively do the performance evaluation. That may be the serious effect to the final evaluation. That is unique disadvantage of the alternative ranking method. Evaluation may become more subjective, is I already explained. That is also equal as the rank order method. In our last evaluation method is paired comparison method. In terms also you can take some idea. In here we are considering paired couple of employees. Employees are evaluated in pairs, taking an employee at a time and comparing him or her against every other. With my example, you can easily understand how it works. In example, there are 5 employees, namely A, B, C, D, and E, same as the rank order method. Employee A is compared with the B, C, D, and E. In here, the name of the employee is A, B, C, D, and E. If we compare employee A with employee B, who is the best employee is A. We can put the name of the employee or some allocated mark. So here I put the name A. The second time we compare employee A with employee C. Out of these two employees, again employee A is the best employee. Third step, employee A is compared with the employee D. When we compare these two pair, again employee A is the best employee. When we compare employee A with employee E, again employee A is the best employee. In here, employee B is compared with C, D, and E. When we comparing B and C, B is the best employee. When we comparing B and D, D is the best employee. When we comparing B and E, B is the best employee. In the third stage, C compared with D, D is the best. C compared with E, C is the best. D compared with E, D is the best. Out of this comparison, how many times the employee name is appeared in this chart? It is same. The one equal to the 1 point. We can calculate the total points. Name A is appeared. These all options. Out of all options, there are 4 times. The name B is appeared in 2 times. Name C is appeared only 1 time. Name D is appeared in 3 times. Name E is not appeared here. Therefore, 0 points. Based on the points, we can give the rank. If the point, if any employee got the highest point, who is the rank 1. According to this, we can give rank on the points. Rank 1 is A, rank 2 is D, rank 3 is the employee B, and C, then employee E. This is the paired comparison method. The end result is equal, but the comparison method is different. This is called paired comparison method. We can calculate the how many times we should do the comparison. Number of pairs we can calculate n into n minus 1 divided by 2. N is referred is the number of employees to be evaluated. In our example, number of employees are 5. We can calculate how many pairs we should compare. 5 minus 1, 4. 5 into 4, 20. 20 divided by 2 is equal to 10. In this chart, we compared 10 pairs. It can be calculated by using this formula, n into n minus 1 divided by 2. Paired comparison method is also have some advantages and disadvantages. This is highly accurate results compared with other 2 ranking method. suitable when it is needed to identify who should lay off. It means when organization needs to worse employee, this is best. Suitable when it is needed to identify who should promote. That means if the organization needs to identify the best employee, this method is applicable. Disadvantages cannot be used easily in situation with a large number of employees, because if there is only 5 employees, there are 10 comparisons. Yeah. If it become more large number of employees, the comparisons may become more complex. Difference between first person and second person may be greater, or the previously I mentioned disadvantage, the active involvement at the beginning and the end may be differ when we compare the starting point and the end point. Very time consuming. It is another disadvantage of this method. These are the 10 performance evaluation methods we discussed today. I think you have clear idea about what evaluation is happening with this method. If you have any questions, you can use my contact details. These are the few questions. You can prepare short notes with the 10 performance evaluation methods. There are other performance evaluation methods also. We will discuss it in our next session. These are my references. These are my contact details. Or you can just ask questions and clarify. I think it is enough about the basic 10 performance appraisal method. Okay, thank you very much.